People are euphoric again. Bitcoin is very close to 100k. It hasn't reached that level yet, and thus people get more risk on. People want to get more exposure to risk. What's the most obvious choice for more risk? It's the meme coins. What's the largest of the meme coins? It's Dogecoin. Now let's have a look at a few numbers. This is the Bitcoin price development, and we are now at $98,600. And this channel has 98,600 subscribers. Let's see who hits the 100k first. Feel free to support this channel, right? Feel free to subscribe if it's your first time here. Now it's actually quite amusing if you currently Google search for Dogecoin, my very smart picture over here pops up as well. It's the very first time I actually noticed this. But let's stop with the things that don't matter. Let's actually have a look at relative valuations. Let's have a look at the Dogecoin dominance. Let's have a look at Dogecoin relative to Bitcoin, Dogecoin relative to Ethereum. Let's see where potential resistances could be. Where could we potentially turn around and not rally anymore? Now we are currently at 46 cents per Doge. We are up 70% today. This week we are up 21%. And this month we have more than tripled. We are up 232%. Now here's the first interesting noteworthy chart. This is Dogecoin relative to Bitcoin. So it's not the US dollar chart. It's the Dogecoin price divided by the Bitcoin price. Thus we can see long term how did Dogecoin do relative to BTC. And if you hold Dogecoin as an alternative to Bitcoin because you think you get more return for it because there's more risk, then over the very long term, you're unfortunately mistaken. Dogecoin underperformed Bitcoin by 55% since June of 2021. But sometimes there are rallies. And those are the kind of rallies that get all the attention, where Dogecoin more than doubles versus Bitcoin. With the current rally, we are up versus Bitcoin by 176%. Now, what is reasonable to assume in terms of a potential resistance? When might we turn around? Is it this line over here? Is Dogecoin going to outperform Bitcoin by another 50% roughly? That would only make sense if you believe that Dogecoin long term will keep pace with Bitcoin. But I'm not really sure, right? Because Bitcoin now sees all the ETF inflows, all the money from traditional finance flowing into the Bitcoin ETFs. We don't see that for Dogecoin, right? Dogecoin will probably never have an ETF. Let's have a look at Dogecoin relative to the rest of all of crypto. So now we look at Dogecoin dominance. So this is the market cap of Dogecoin relative to the market cap of all of crypto. And it's interesting how we are trading in a somewhat constant range here. It's not perfect. We once had a floor over here, then we established another floor roughly 20% below. And yes, we did see a top that was higher than our current top. But it is interesting how stable that relationship is, right? When all of crypto goes up, then Dogecoin tends to go up as well and vice versa. And there seems to be a somewhat tight coupling. Dogecoin in US dollars is at an all-time high. But as a fraction of all of crypto, it's not. It underperformed crypto by quite a bit. So to be at the actual all-time high relative to the rest of crypto, we'd had to almost double from here again. Now this is Dogecoin dominance, and this is Dogecoin relative to Bitcoin. But are these actually the best kinds of comparisons? I believe that Dogecoin relative to Ethereum is actually a better measure than Dogecoin relative to Bitcoin. And here is why. Have a look at this correlation matrix over here. It shows the correlation of various altcoins to Bitcoin and to Ethereum. So we're looking now at the first two columns. And look how for most of those numbers, the left side, the numbers on the left side are smaller than the number on the right side. So the correlation coefficient between the altcoins and Bitcoin tends to be lower than the correlation coefficient between the altcoins and Ethereum. Now, what does that mean? It means that on average, Dogecoin and Ethereum tend to move in the same direction at the same time more than Bitcoin and Dogecoin does. In other words, Bitcoin might go up and Dogecoin could go down more often than when Ethereum goes up. Then when Ethereum goes up, Dogecoin tends to go up much more often. Dogecoin and ETH are more in sync with one another than Dogecoin and Bitcoin. And so here's that correlation coefficient of Dogecoin relative to Ethereum over time. When it's at 1, it means the two assets move in the same direction at the same day all the time. When it's at -1, it means they always move in opposite directions. So say Dogecoin goes up and Ethereum goes down. Now this is a 90-day correlation coefficient, right? That's over time. But we can also look at the 1-year correlation coefficient. Here we can really see how stable that relationship is. In the last 2.5 years, Ethereum and Dogecoin went in the same directions almost every day. Now the correlation coefficient is very stable at 0.6. And so thus, I think the comparison to ETH makes more sense. Let's not divide the Dogecoin price by the Bitcoin price. Let's divide it by Ethereum. And then we get to this chart. Dogecoin relative to Ethereum is very, very close to its all-time high, and that all-time high was at launch. In other words, if we now still buy Dogecoin, we believe that the idiosyncratic movements will come to historical heights. It will become as important as it has never ever been. That's a speculation now when buying Dogecoin. It's something that never happened before. Most of the time, Dogecoin was doing worse than Ethereum, and it only could break out during short bursts of attention. Now, Doge is already in the billions of dollars. In order to move the price, a lot of capital in theory is needed, because its market cap is at 67 billion. And if that was to double, it would be larger than even Tether, the largest of the stablecoins. Now, is that likely? To be honest with you, I don't think so. I think a doubling of Dogecoin relative to the rest of the market is not that likely. But is it possible for Dogecoin to underperform Ethereum in the worst case by 75, maybe even 80%? It's not impossible. Now, there is a caveat to this though, because Dogecoin is not just freely traded everywhere. A lot of Dogecoin is now with the market makers. It's actually with the centralized exchanges. And the centralized exchanges have an interest that their assets don't go to zero. That's probably why Dogecoin can hold up so well. Just have a look at the trading volume on Binance alone. This is the spot trading volume, $2.5 billion in the last 24 hours. This is a lot of fees that get generated here. Now check out the perpetual futures market, $11.5 billion. So that's now the derivatives on the price, right? The bets on the price. And interestingly enough, there's an exchange called VX that has almost the same kind of perp trading volume. Now here is VX, and I believe this is simply just a white labeled Binance, because have a look at this website and compare it to this website. How different do those websites actually look? It seems like a carbon copy. Here's a language and currency selector. Here's that same thing on VX. Here's a download button with a QR code. Here's that same thing on Binance. Now here's something interesting. There's still a lot of attention on Dogecoin. Dogecoin is one of the top performing videos on this channel recently. So I've published a video just 2 days ago. The average video is here in gray, and this was the recent Dogecoin video. It outperformed the average video by roughly 3 to 4x. And where there's interest, where there's search volume, there's of course also purchases. But here's the thing with crypto. Attention moves in waves. If I made a Dogecoin video 2 months ago, nobody would have watched it. Now that trading volume is high, everybody watches it. Now when attention and trading volume is high, the price tends to spike as well. We've got 3 situations for Dogecoin over here. At the bottom is the trading volume, at the top is the price. And there is a bit of a difference here, right? The first time we simply just extended in the price and came back down. The second time though, we did see another short squeeze that came. So people over here speculated that we're going to see another retracement similar to November of 2022. When there are enough people that bet on falling prices, that's an opportunity for market makers to squeeze out those short positions. Then they buy up more of the token and push it higher. And then that temporarily happens, even though the trading volume was already decreasing. It seems like something exactly in the same manner happens now. We see trading volume spike again, the price went up, and now we see our secondary short squeeze rally that happens under lower trading volume. And so I don't know when this turns around, but I'm sure it will at some point. I do believe we will see some kind of revival of what we've already seen in April of this year. It will simply take too much money to squeeze Dogecoin another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7x higher. Dogecoin will not be worth more than Ethereum. Dogecoin will not be worth more than Bitcoin. There is a limit to all of this. And the question is the risk to reward still worth it? Is the upside high enough to justify the potential catastrophic downside? Don't get me wrong, I do believe that crypto continues to expand. And I do believe that a lot of cryptocurrency US dollar prices are likely going to increase. Have a look at this. This is a long-term chart of the stablecoin market cap. And when this goes down, crypto is shrinking as a whole, right? Capital is flowing out of crypto. When this is going up, then crypto is expanding. Prices tend to go up. And currently, we are very much accelerated in that expansion. So I'm not saying that Dogecoin can't go another 10-20% higher from here, but I am saying is that Bitcoin will probably do similar gains at the same point. What's the value in holding Dogecoin when the same kinds of returns can be made with the safest of the cryptocurrencies? The real profit is to be made in the smaller meme coins, right? If you're already okay to buy a meme coin, you already want to take the risk, then why not take the risk with smaller meme coins that are way smaller, that can go up much more? If you're okay with a downside of 80% that we definitely have in Dogecoin in the worst case, then why not buy something with only tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions in market cap? Something that can go up by 400% or 200%, or simply just double within a week. Why not buy something like this? For example, have a look at this. Cerebro. It went up by 130% in the last week. And I made a video on Cerebro as well, but it didn't perform better than the average. It's very different to Dogecoin. I make a video like this knowing that it won't perform well. The YouTube algorithm does not reward making videos on unknown coins. It rewards making videos on coins that are already large, because that's where all the audience is. But the tokens that are already large don't have the upside potential, but might have already the risk. So not much upside potential, but a lot of risk. That's not necessarily that great. And so here is that video on Cerebro. The price was at 7.6 cents at the time. Again, now we are at 50 cents and nobody watched that video. But I will continue to make videos on various meme coins on this channel. I will continue to make videos on not so well-known tokens that have the potential to go further up. If you appreciate this, feel free to subscribe, right? I try to be early. I publish videos regularly. Feel free to potentially even hit notifications, because again, the algorithm is against us. With a notification, you might still get that video early. Now, how did I find a token like Cerebro at those 7 odd cents? The answer is I use wallet tracking. I try to find wallets of insiders and of other influencers, of top traders, of people that move the market. And once those wallets are found, we can track them. We can find out when they're buying and selling. For example, over here, Kyle Chessy bought Cerebro for 7.8 cents. And again, since then, we went up by roughly 500%. Here is that Kyle Chessy. Here is his YouTube channel. He's got 136,000 subscribers. And we've got 12 of his wallets. We track in total more than 400 wallets. We also track CryptoBanter, for example, who's got more than 1 million subscribers. When they talk about a token, of course the token goes up, because all of that additional attention translates into some purchases. Here are the wallets that we have by CryptoBanter, more than 33. Or have a look at this. This is Alex Becker, 1.5 million subscribers. We've got 12 of his wallets. And I like this approach so much that I made a dedicated tutorial section just on wallet tracking. How can we find various influencer wallets? How can we track those influencer wallets? And how can we finally also interpret the signals that we get from the tracking? This is all part of the premium membership of this channel. The link is down below. It's thebitcointrader.com. Premium is not just about wallet tracking. It's also about on-chain analytics. It's also about relative valuation charts. It's also about risk management, portfolio diversification, etc. Feel free to check it out. There's more than 100 tutorial videos in total. And so once we've got a signal by our wallet tracking, we have to, of course, also discuss when should we buy, when should we sell. We have to look at relative valuations. We have to look at on-chain data. That's why we've got dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, in case you don't make money, just message me within the first week and I'll refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. So can the Dogecoin price go higher? Yes, of course it can, especially if the overall market goes up. Can it still continue to outperform the rest of the market by 3, 4, 5x? Probably not. There is a ceiling to any asset. And so the big question is that ceiling worth it? Is that ceiling already that close that the downside potential is worth taking? I'm not so sure. I think most upside is really in the smaller meme coins. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in premium. Cheers.